welcome to Extraordinary People in an Ordinary World. I'm your host, Beth, and I'm an ordinary person amazed by the extraordinary people surrounding us. This podcast is about people who live among us who are doing extraordinary things. You can expect to meet people from all walks of life doing things that may inspire you, make you want to change, or just simply sit back and delight in their stories. I have met the most extraordinary people in my ordinary world, and I am so grateful to have the opportunity to share their stories. Now listen in and enjoy. Your inspiration may be right here in this episode. This month's guest on Extraordinary People in an Ordinary World has dedicated her life to serving individuals with special needs. Her journey began as a child when she met a special needs neighbor who ignited her passion for this population. Inspired by this connection, she decided to pursue a career in special education, earning her degree from Jersey City State College, which is now New Jersey City University. And while in college, she sought volunteer opportunities to fulfill her credit requirements, and that search led her to Camp Fatima, a completely volunteer-run camp for children with special needs. For the past 49 years, Patti Gerris has worked tirelessly in the special needs community, sharing her compassion, commitment, and unwavering love. Her work has profoundly impacted countless lives, and her dedication is an inspiration to all. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming my guest, Patti Gerris. Welcome, Patti, and thanks for being here. I was hoping that we could start off with your first recognition that you wanted to work with the special needs population, and if you can tell us a little bit about the boy that we discussed in the intro that sparked your desire.
Sure. Hi, Beth, first of all. I would spend summers down at the Jersey Shore, and our block, that the house that we went to every year, had a special needs boy on it. He was older than us, but he had 3 brothers and 1 sister. And I have 3 brothers. We would all play together. It was a dead-end street, tons of kids on it, and we would be out all summer long playing. And Bill, the special needs boy, would be with us. To let you know how long ago it was, he carried his transistor radio with him. So all he did was rock, listen to the radio directly held against his ear, and make some sounds. But when he would play with us, he would always stand in the group. He would throw the ball. He would, engage just standing and never really being part of things verbally. So we never thought anything of it. We never really questioned him or wondered what was going on. He was just one of the kids on the block. So one year we came down and he was sitting on the steps of our house. And when we got out of the car, he said, "Hi, Tommy, Bobby, Patty, Billy." He went through my entire family with our birthdays, with what school we went to. Asking about our cousins, asking about when people in the family were coming down and were we staying the whole summer. And we stood there like deer in headlights. We were just amazed because obviously over the years he had taken in all of our information, yet he never verbalized it. So that intrigued me. It amazed me. It intrigued me. And in talking with his sister, she had explained to us that over the winter, her dad had gotten ill and her mom was very busy taking care of her dad. So Bill finally, after many years of just staying home and doing nothing, went to a workshop. And that's
How old do you think he was then?
At that time, he was old. He was probably early 30s.
Oh, okay.
At that point, he was really maybe late 20s, but he really just opened up and had so much to offer. He got a job at the local food town and we would see him all the time. And he just was really very social. He started going to activities that the programs offered, and it just made such a difference in his life. And the sad part of it is back then, no one knew. And now there's just so much more available. And that's, that's what I've learned over the years, how uh, encouragement helps. And he was so inspiring to me to learn more about it. And that's why I chose my path. So
that's when you decided to go to school to become a special ed teacher.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, part of my audience is probably going, what the heck is a transistor radio?
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be Googling that.
That shows my age.
Mine too. So while at Jersey City pursuing your degree in special education, you had to do volunteer hours. That's how you got involved with the camp? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
When I was a junior, we had to declare our major, and I wanted to declare being a special ed major. But to do that, we had to do 30 hours of volunteer work. I had known about camp from when I was in high school. So I called people that I knew that had done fundraising with me for the camp back then, and found out it was still in existence, and that, it was definitely an option for me to get my 30 hours done in one shot. So there were 5 of us that went the summer of 1977 and did our 30 hours of work. And I have never left since my first time on the campsite.
So I want to tell the audience, I met you because my family also volunteered at Camp Fatima. Not myself, but lots and lots of people in my family. So my sister originally started there while I think she was in high school. She also was a special ed major. She did, I don't even know how many years, but Patti loved it and got my brother Don hooked on it. And my brother Don started going to Camp Fatima in the summer, volunteering his time. And to this day, he's in his 60s now, he's still going. Then we also have my 2 cousins, Christopher and Shannon, their siblings. They both started donating their time in the summer there also. Christopher still does the summer camp for a week there. And then my cousin Paul, who has Down syndrome, went to Camp Fatima when he was able to participate. I think they can only participate till 21, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I think he was a camp in the camper where he helped out for a little bit, but I don't believe he does that anymore. But he used to call Camp Fatima Camp Fat Mama affectionately. So that's how I always think of Camp Fatima, Camp Fat Mama. But he loved the camp, and my siblings and my cousins have nothing but great things to say about the camp. Can you talk a little bit about it and what they do there and what you do there or have done there over the years?
Sure. It's a totally volunteer camp, which is awesome. No one has ever been paid. The volunteers come from all walks of life. We've had so many different types. We have police officers, nurses. We actually have our own doctor. She came as a high school volunteer and then obviously went on to become a doctor, and now comes back and works in our infirmary for the week and her children also volunteer at camp. We have special ed teachers, and we have just young kids that come in and we show them what to do. It's all volunteer in that way. And also we do not charge the families. It is totally free for the families to come. We do extensive work to make sure that we're on the level. We have application process, and then we interview all the volunteers and the campers. We interview the campers. They have many needs, a lot of extenuating circumstances. Sometimes some are actually on feeding tubes, and we take all levels of disability. Because we have a doctor on site, it allows us to do more intense disabilities. It's a great respite for parents for a week. We have stories about that, where parents have said they've never gone away before. Their kids are like 10 years old or, even 20 years old, and they've never been away before. So it's a great respite
vacation for your volunteers. It is a 24/7. They are with their person 24/7, correct?
Yes. The volunteers come up on a Saturday and the campers come up on Sunday. So Saturday we have an orientation. They get a file on the camper that they'll be having for the week. And there's a resource staff, which are the people that have interviewed the campers, know them well, know their ins and outs and their any allergies or anything like that. So they will give information to the volunteers. And then that's it. When the parents bring the child up on Sunday, they meet the family. The camper then is with us 24/7 until they come back on the following Saturday. And sometimes it's an easy transition, sometimes not so easy. Usually it's the moms that are the tough part, but we guarantee them a great week. We have a waterfront staff. We have a great pool. We have arts and crafts. We have a reserve staff who keeps the camp clean. We have a kitchen staff. We have cooks. We have an infirmary. We have an industrial arts program with wood making projects. And it's just the activity staff goes over and above with what they do. It's just a full week of fun. We get a theme for the week, and then we have a daily theme. So if it's Western Day, if our last year we had a Kung Fu Panda, and then we had like a Western Day or a St. Patrick's Day parade day and whatever. So we would have the pandas, and it's ourselves dressed up. From the minute they come onto the campsite, there's a group of people welcoming, singing our camp song, balloons, all kinds of things to welcome the campers onto the site. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful, fun packed week. It is nonstop. Our volunteers are amazing. I feel very fortunate and blessed because of my role in the real world, as I call it. I was a special needs teacher for higher skilled kids, and at times in the high school level. And then I was also a middle school guidance counselor. I started laying the groundwork with kids on how I wanted them to volunteer when they got old enough to come to camp. So I have been very fortunate to have kids that work at camp. I call them still my kids. They work at the camp, but they're married with their own families. And now their kids come to camp to volunteer. It's been generational, and it's just been phenomenal. It makes me know that camp will go on because they have what we call fata magic. It's a special feeling. It's hard to explain. My family says we're a cult because we look at each other. You can say one word and we all look at each other and start laughing. But it's, I've made great connections. I've made friends with your family. Patty and I go way back. She was little Patty. I was big Patty. And it was just friendships that you make, and the parents are so grateful, and people can't believe that it doesn't cost the families anything. Back when Patty and I started, there were institutions, and we used to get campers from the institutions, and that was a very different level of work. But it's just continued on, and we've been very, very fortunate for many years. It started back in 1968. I was involved in fundraising for camp since 1970. So right from the beginning, I learned about it from Sister Virginia Thomas at the high school that I went to. We raised money for camp because she had gone to the camp. And it was a slideshow back then, showing us what went on. And we just did a fair in the backyard of our school. We sold balloons dressed as clowns at Livingston Mall, and sold cupcakes outside of churches, and just did anything we could to raise money to keep the camp going. Now we have Amazon wish lists as opposed to selling balloons at Livingston Mall.
I like the Amazon wish list. It works. Yeah. It works. And you could send it right there, which is really nice.
Yeah. So
I know
it's
like my
definitely evolved.
brother, my sister, my cousins, they come home with stories. Paul, when he used to go there, just would not stop talking about it. We'd always would see him at some point in the summer on some kind of vacation. He'd be doing his countdown to Camp Fatima. So it
Yes.
really is a great thing, not just for the kids, but like you said, the parents, this is a 24/7 for them all the time. So it is a really nice respite if you can get them to come forward and go. Do you have a waiting list? Do you think there are like, do you have not enough spots and more applicants, or is it pretty even for you?
We do. We have a waiting list generally, and male counselors we need. We always the younger male campers, if they're young enough, can be with a female counselor.
Mm-hmm.
But the male counselors, they're in high demand, and we've been recruiting. We've been getting more, and then truthfully, once we get a good one, they want their friends to come because they get very excited.
Oh, I love that.
I have two second level cousins, I guess they are. My cousin Pete used to be the cook for many years. And he passed away. So it's his grandsons now come with me.
Oh, wow.
And they've brought friends, and it's just, you get hooked. It's not for everyone, but
Mm-hmm.
you get hooked if you have the spirit, and it's just amazing.
I did do an intake day there once when the kids first came and getting their meds together, but I never stayed
Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah. I remember you being there. And you know what? That's as important. We need people like that. We need people like you that can come for the day. Coming in, as you saw it, you witnessed it. Some kids come with a huge bag of meds, and we have to sign everything in. And that's your expertise. I'm the one singing, "How do you do, everybody? How do you do?" while you're checking in the meds. We all have a purpose. There's no room for egos at camp. I was on the board of directors. I was a camp director, and now I wash the dishes. So it doesn't matter what you do there. It just matters that you go and do your job. So
do they have a website or a Facebook site if people wanted to see videos or check any of it out? I mean, I always get to see everything because of my siblings and my cousins going there.
Yes. Camp Fatima of New Jersey.org, because there is a Camp Fatima of New Hampshire, very different. They are a paid camp with a fee, but we are Camp Fatima of New Jersey.org.
I'll make sure I put that in the show notes so that people can check it out.
Okay, great.
I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Calm Creations. If you like relaxing by the warm glow of a candle with the scent that brings back memories, I've got the perfect candle company for you. Calm Creations, based in New Jersey, makes high-quality, beautifully scented candles, and 10% of their profits go to benefit nonprofit organizations. Check out their amazing selection at calmcreations.com. And thank you for being a sponsor of Extraordinary People in an Ordinary World. Yeah. So you've since retired, obviously, but still go to camp. What are you doing now? What is it that is your call right now? And how are you still serving this population?
I am not a good retiree. I retired from 36 years of teaching and guidance counseling up in Harrison in 2012, I think it was 2011 or 2012. And I took 5 years off, which was fine because, excuse me, I was moving down to my house here at the shore. I had a lot of work to do, but I missed working with kids. So I went to Mother Seton High School in Clark and was a guidance counselor there for filling in for someone, for a friend from January to June. And of course, Catholic school, I ended up staying 6 years. So now I'm retired. I got involved in Circle of Friends here at the Jersey Shore, which is a social organization for disabled adults. And it's a funny story because the people that started it in 1996 up in Bloomfield. And I know of them and met them briefly one night because Sister Joan, who used to come to camp as arts and crafts and different activities, was a nun at St. Thomas. And when they presented their program, she had them use the gym for their dances. So everything comes full circle. So now I met them down here at the shore, Bob and Carol Capoli, who started this organization because they have a Down syndrome son. And when he graduated high school, there was no social activities for him to be involved in. So they rallied up some parents of classmates of David's and different people, put it out, in the church bulletin and different things, and just got a group of people together, and it just took off. They then moved down here to the shore where it is now a big organization, and it's social. We would have a dance one month, karaoke another month, alternating. We would have a prom. We had different activities and different fundraisers for the Circle of Friends. The summer before last, prior to probably 3 years ago, Bob, the Capoli, got sick, and his wife, they were saying they were getting older and they didn't know how much longer they could do this. So two people, Matt Doherty and Katie McNulty, took over the program for Bob and Carol. They are still the original people, and we constantly credit them. But Matt and Katie took on a different spin for it. We had a stand on the Belmar Boardwalk, and we were there for July and end of July and all of August. And we just sold like finger food, French fries, chicken fingers, hot dogs, sodas, and ice cream bars. But we had a huge crew of multiple disabilities. We were able to have a variety because it was a large space, and they didn't get paid then. Our crew members, they didn't get paid, but they had a ball and they made friendships, and any of the tips we saved and gave them a big party at the end and divvied up the tips for all the workers and distributed to them. So we put out a bid again for this past summer and we lost. We didn't go high enough to get the stand back. And so, of course, everyone was extremely disappointed. We didn't know what we were going to do because we had started something and we didn't want it to end. So we were kind of crying in our, on our each other's shoulders about what are we going to do. And Reggie Hyde, who owns Bar Anticipation in Lake Como, said, I have a place you can have for the next couple of years, site as it is. You can fix it up, do what you want with it, until I'm ready to do something different. And he gave it to us free of charge. And we went in like gangbusters. We painted, we cleaned it up. It was originally a little diner, side door eatery, it was called. And we went in and we just gun-ho did what we had to do. It needed a lot of cleaning up. It needed some work. My brother, fortunately, is very good with work. He has a construction and cabinet company in Cabinet Creations, and his workers from WRG Construction came in, put us up to code, made us some ramps, put up shelves, cleaned out the shed, did so much work to get us going. And everybody kind of just was so excited about it and revved up, and we got it all going. And we opened June 29th, and we had a grand opening, and it's Circle of Friends Cafe on Main Street in Lake Como. And it's now actual job training. We have 20 employees. They get $15.50 or $15.75 an hour, and they do the job. They take the orders, There's dishwashers, there's salad makers, there's hamburger makers, there's different, they all have a task. And there's people that clean outside, we grow our own tomatoes and herbs and have like garden boxes, and everybody just has this job. So we have a waiting list for that as well, because it's a small cafe and it's tight. So we do what we can. We do have one wheelchair employee who we make it work. And it's just phenomenal. They really enjoy it. The friendships that are made, the friendships I've made, with the parents and the kids themselves. They're not kids, they're adults, but it's just incredible. We have a really, really good time there. People come in, and we have a group of men that come every Thursday morning. They used to come to the old place. And when people come in, they're kind of like skittish at times. They're like, oh, we thought this was, just a reopening of the old place. And we're like, no, here's what we do. The camaraderie and the acceptance, it's just beautiful to see. So
that is amazing. And that is all year long, not like the stand that you had in Belmar. This is all
this
year
goes
long.
all year long. Yes, we're open from, we're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay.
And on Tuesdays, one of the programs for disabled adults comes in and they help us out. They roll the utensils in the napkins. Some of their crew members, the guys pull the mats out and wash them down in the backyard. And it's just one hand washes the other. And we really gives everybody something to do. So it's a great place.
Sounds great. Do you get any subsidizing from like Developmental Disabilities of New Jersey or anything, or it's strictly you guys
we work on donations, and
Okay.
We've gotten some good ones. We have the Elks are very good, and sometimes unsolicited. Like there was a group that came in for breakfast one morning, and then he said to me, "Oh, by the way, I have a check for you," and it was the Elks from Asbury Park Wall.
Wow.
And they said, $500 check. And it's like, oh, thank you. It's really, they hear things. This year, they have in Asbury Park on April 12th, they have the tutu run. And this is a thing that goes on yearly. And this year, Circle of Friends will be the recipient of that money.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, yeah.
That's April 12th.
April 12th, yes.
Okay. So if I wanted to include some information, I can include a link or something that our audience could tune into to look it up?
Yes. It's the tutu run, TUTU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they give you a tutu if you don't have one to run in. So,
I love it.
I love it.
It's good. It's great. So, what are some of the challenges in working with this population? Is it more about public awareness or training, transportation? Because, I'm sure
there are definitely challenges. And I've learned because, as I stated, I'm a little bit older than the times now. And I've learned a lot. The clients now all have budgets. So we have crew members that come in an Uber or a taxi, and it's hooked up to their budget link.
Okay.
And so if transportation is a problem for some, depending on their abilities, of course, whether they would be able to do that, but that's really something I never was aware of, and awareness is a big thing. But I have to say the acceptance nowadays is so different. And something that I have really, really witnessed is parental compassion, parental pushing, for lack of a better word, really involved in their child's progress and finding out what's out there for them and really taking advantage of it. They're wonderful advocates for their own children. I see such a difference in the kids who have parents who have really, really been an advocate for them. My personal past experience was always that I had to be the advocate for the type of kids that I worked with. Not that they had bad parents, but they had parents who weren't educated in the field to know enough to push for these things and what was available. These parents amaze me with how they treat their children, how they treat each other. It's a community. It's just such a closeness, and I have totally benefited from it. Our cafe was closed last week because our chef was away on vacation, and it was National Down Syndrome Day. And we, on Friday, we took 2 of our crew parents and myself, we took 2 of the girls to No Limits Cafe, which is same concept, but much more advanced than our cafe. We had a ball and meeting each other, and just, it's just amazing to me how they are just no worries, no hold back, no judgment. It's just a great place to be. The lack of judgment and the amount of compassion for each other is just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I've been to No Limits Cafe. Now I need to get down on the circle of friends.
Yeah.
No Limits, my brother's girlfriend's nephew works there. So you might have had him as the server when you went. Jake, do you know him?
I don't know Jake, but they did tell me that Sue's nephew was there because when Camp Fatima was mentioned, they said, "Oh, do you know Don Brown?" And I of course started to laugh. I said, "I've heard of him."
I've heard of him. So funny, right? So you've had an incredibly dedicated life to people with special needs. If you could leave the audience with one lesson, what would it be?
Include them. Be kind. Give them a chance. They will make your life better. I see people come in who are a little bit hesitant, and then it just, you see them melt into it. It's so beautiful. Just give everyone a chance, because you know what? We all come with a story. These guys make everything better. They just do.
Oh, I love that. And that is so, so true. And I'm going to say in closing, I think you make the world better. And you're definitely an extraordinary person. And I'm so happy to have had you on the show today. And I can't wait for everybody to hear your story.
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. And I love talking about it because I want everyone to come down and go to the cafe.
Everybody get on down to the Circle of Friends Cafe in Belmar.
Yeah. Lake Como.
Lake Como, sorry.
Lake Como.
Thanks again, Patti.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for joining me on Extraordinary People in an Ordinary World. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please share with a friend. If you know an extraordinary person, I would love to hear from you so that I can feature them on the show. Please email me at bethextraordinarypeople@gmail.com. Or you can message me on Instagram at extraordinary_people_podcast. I look forward to hearing from you. And in the words of Saint Mother Teresa, not all of us can do great things, but we can all do small things with great love. I look forward to our next extraordinary person, the first Friday of next month. See you then.